Hello, guys. We are on lesson 7. So, today our objective is share and critique strategies for varied addition and subtraction problems within 1,000. So, that is a big, long statement that probably doesn't make a lick of sense to you guys because, truthfully, I had to really think about it. But basically, today's lesson is just a review of what we've been doing the past 2 weeks with addition and subtraction. It's just going to be a short lesson of me teaching. And basically, it means that you guys are going to practice adding and subtracting using your own strategy that you like best. Okay, so I'm going to just give you guys some examples of what we can do, of some strategies you can do. Then I'm going to actually bring up the exit ticket for you guys to see so that you guys will know what I'm talking about. So on this one, it's very, very important that you show your work. Okay, some of us on our exit tickets last week wasn't showing our work in the show work box, but that helps me to know you're thinking. So that way I know what you're thinking and how you're getting your answer. So basically, all you're doing today is just adding and subtracting, and you're using the strategy of your choice. Okay, so I know on our exit ticket, it's going to be hard to use a place value chart. It's going to be hard to use a number bond. It's going to be hard to use a tape diagram, but there is the arrow way, so I'm going to show you guys the arrow way. And if you guys would rather use the place value chart or the tape diagram or the number bond, you can always do it on regular paper and then just have your mom or dad send me a picture through text message or Dojo, and that'll work too. Okay? So the first one we have is 400 plus 180. So I'm just going, for this one, I'm just going to pick the place value chart so to show my strategy that I'm using. So I'm just going to draw out an empty place value chart here. So I have my 100s, my 10s, and my 1s. Okay. So I know that I have 400 plus 180. So I'm just going to model that using dots. If we were in the classroom, you would be using place value disc. It looks a little blurry. So I'm going to first model 400. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And in 400, there are no 10s or 1s. So that's just what 400 looks like in the place value chart. Now I'm going to come down a little and model 180 using a different color. So I have 100, I have 8 10s, and I have 0 1s. So now we can look at that and get our answer by looking at the place value chart. So when we add and subtract, we always start in the ones place value. Okay, this lesson is kind of leading up to the standard algorithm. So if you notice, we have 0 1s. So I'm just going to put a 0 here. We have our 10s next, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 10s. So I'm just going to put an 8 here. And now I'm at my hundreds, and I'm just going to count those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 500s. So my answer is 580. So that's a strategy you could use, is the place value chart. I wrote these two because they look a little different than what we've been working on. This is basically the same as this problem, except your answer's at the beginning instead of at the end. So you're looking for the sum here still. It just looks different. So you're still going to be adding these two numbers together. This is just where your sum goes instead of at the back. Okay? So for this one, I'm just going to use the arrow way where I'm adding 100s and 10s. So I'm going to start with 542. And I'm just going to draw my arrow. And I know that I need to add 300. So you can either go plus 300 if you know what that answer is going to be, or you can break the 300 up into 100 plus 100 plus 100. So I'm just going to do that. 542 plus 100 is 642. Plus another 100 is 742. plus another 100 is 842. So I've added my 300s, 1, 2, 3. So I know that my answer is 842. Okay, let me focus this a little. It seems a little blurry to me. So it's going to get blurry, then hopefully get better. Okay, there we go. All right, and then the last one is still the same concept, except we have subtraction. Our difference, which is the answer to a subtraction problem, is just at the beginning instead of at the end. But we're still going to subtract these two numbers. So for this one, I'm going to use the strategy of a tape diagram. So I'm just going to draw out my bars here. I'm going to label 231. My bar for 190 will be a little shorter because 190 is smaller, and this is the part that's missing that I've got to find. Okay, so you're thinking to yourself, well, which one of those numbers is closest to a benchmark number? So I know that 190 is only 10 away from a 100, so I'm going to add plus 10. But since I added plus 10 here, I also have to add plus 10 to this one. So now I have a new subtraction equation. I have 231 plus 10, which is 241, and I have 190 plus 10, which is 200. So now I have 241 subtract 200, which is a little easier than 231 subtract 190. So I know that 200 subtract 200s is 0. 4 subtract 0 is 4 left over, and 1 subtract 0 is 1 left over. So I know that my answer is 41. Okay? So basically today's lesson is just getting you guys to practice with adding and subtracting, building our way up to the standard algorithm. But you guys get to choose your strategy. So there's the place value chart, if you choose it, the arrow way, and the tape diagram way. Okay? But I do need you guys to show your work on this. So let me bring up your exit ticket for this week, or for today, I mean, and show you what it's going to look like. So here's your exit ticket. And if you notice, I put solve each problem using a strategy, arrow way, place value chart, tape diagram. I need you to show me your work. So here's where you're going to type in your answer. I've got a text box around it, and here's where you're going to show your work. If you decide to use the arrow way, you can just show me how you're adding your hundreds. So you use plus 100 plus 10. If you use the place value chart or the tape diagram, you'll have to do that on regular paper and just have your mom or dad send me a picture. That's perfectly okay too. Okay, but I do need to see your work for this just so I can make sure we're building our way up to this understanding the standard algorithm. And for this review, there's 2 pages because my lesson, my direct instruction of me talking to you guys is a little shorter. But if you notice, both pages have show your work, so I need you to be sure and do that for me. Okay? All right, let me know if you guys need anything. Love you guys and miss you.